Okay. Hi. It occurs to me that a lot of you probably don't know who I am, so hi, I'm Jacob. I'm a filmmaker, musician, college student, and for the past year or so, I have been a part of the ever-endangered species known as twisty puzzle designers. Now, what's a twisty puzzle, you may ask? You're probably not asking that, because if you're watching this video, then you probably already know what it's about. But twisty puzzles, as the official Twisty Puzzles website, twistypuzzles.com, defines them, is puzzle-like Rubik's Cube. They're real scholars over there. I'm gonna be honest, I did not want this to be my first video, nor did I want this video to be like this, but it's finals week right now and I have one day to do this video. I unfortunately don't have time to do a whole production that I was planning, or like a fast-paced editing sort of a comedy style YouTube video. Even though this is a medium that's really important to me, I just figured that I would sit here and introduce myself and talk to you guys about the puzzle that I made. For those of you who are new to this whole twisty puzzles thing and just happened upon this video by accident, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you might be a little confused on the premise of this video. Basically, this is an entry for the Puzzle Advent Calendar of 2025, where basically myself and a bunch of other twisty puzzle designers, or I think they can do some regular puzzles too, essentially present a brand new, never before seen puzzle every day of December until Christmas, I think. Okay, now I've been a twisty puzzle collector for basically my whole life. Since I was a little kid, my brother bought me my very first Rubik's Cube. It was just a regular 3x3, and since then I have amassed a very impressive collection. That is not the whole collection. That is only around 5 out of the 180 puzzles that I own and have collected over the last few years. And so even though this is a lifelong passion of mine, I'll admit that I was personally unfamiliar with the Puzzle Advent Calendar before this year, before I got like involved with the community and such. But I will say I'm very grateful to be a part of this collaboration this year, and specifically to Cubes Made Easy, who I believe basically show runs this whole thing. But I do want to say that it does mean a lot to me that I get to be a part of this collaboration, especially being so new in the community. Okay, that's enough about me. Let's get into the puzzle that I am trying to present to you. So without further ado, I present to you the Pointy Nose Puzzles Puzzle Advent Calendar Presentation Puzzle, the Wayfinder. Now, okay, this puzzle is freaking hard. Like, I have accidentally scrambled it a number of times since playing around with it, and as the great Eitan Scher would say, my only approach to this puzzle would involve a screwdriver. That being said, I do really appreciate the aesthetic of the puzzle. As you can see, the aesthetic's got a very nice compass on top, a very nice little pattern on the side, I guess. I don't know what you'd call that. Arrows? Foxes? Fox arrows? I think it looks great. Unfortunately, I think the turning is less than subpar. So actually, most of my puzzles, in fact, most resin puzzles in general, turn really well because it's such a precise manufacturing method. Unfortunately, the Wayfinder is probably my worst turning puzzle to date. It's not bad by any means, but it definitely catches a little bit. It's a little grindy. Originally, it did turn very well, but unfortunately, this design is really tricky to balance properly, and some of the pieces were really, really thin and kept breaking. And instead of me printing a bunch more or just redesigning the puzzle, because I didn't really have time to do that, I just super glued them all back together. So this puzzle is basically being held by about a gallon of super glue, and as a result, some of the turns are pretty solid, you know, but some other ones are a little rougher. I would say it's comparable in turning quality to like maybe a land puzzle, you know? It's stable, it's not gonna fall apart, but there's some, not catching, but grinding. This is a descendant of the trifectoid puzzle, which is a cubic variant of this same axis system based off a shape called the tetragonal trapezohedron, I think, which basically just means that 4 of the turns are going to be on the edges of the puzzle, and 4 of the turns are going to be on the corners of the puzzle, and you can't see it again. Get your freaking stupid body out of the shot, Jacob. Okay, so as I was saying, 4 of the turning axes on this puzzle are located on the edge around what I call the north pole of the puzzle, or the white side, and 4 of the turning axes actually are on the corners on the south pole, or the yellow side. Did it just fucking break? Oh. False alarm, people. It did not, in fact, break. A center cap just came off. Just gotta pop that bad boy right back on there. brand spanking new. As I was saying earlier, this is a descendant of the sun is and everything up. As I was saying, this puzzle is a descendant of the original trifectoid puzzle, which I designed when I first started back in junior year of high school. It uses the same axis system, except this puzzle has deep cuts, which sort of leads to the compass pattern up here, and extra cuts, which leads to these little parts right here, and these little arrow thingies on the side. Unlike the trifectoid, which is a very easy puzzle to solve, this is freaking brutal. Basically, you can see that the turns sort of intersect at the top here, and that's where these extra cuts come into play. I could add more cuts and make these make this turn possible as well, but right now you can see it's bandage. And the bandaging is honestly such a monster on this puzzle. That's probably the worst part of it. But these plus cuts also come into play when you have a situation like this, where the corner turn is oriented in such a way that if this plus cut weren't there, this would be bandaged as well, but now it's made available, which means these pieces right here are actually mechanically identical to these pieces right here and these pieces right here, which is kind of cool. And that also means these three pieces right here, this little bundle of three, is mechanically equivalent to these three and these three. I'm sure it doesn't take much forensic work to figure that out for yourself, but it is a cool quirk. Additionally, the trifectoid was a perfect cube, but you might notice that this is not a cube, this is actually a rectangular prism. And that was mostly an aesthetic choice. I kind of just like prisms. If you're familiar with any of my work, you might know that I make a lot of pentagonal prism puzzles. This one, I mostly just truncated the faces down so that the corners could intersect exactly at the corner, which sort of leads to this cool little triangle shaped piece on the side. I'm unfortunately not going to be attempting to solve this puzzle in this video because, like I said, it's finals week and I do not have time for that shit. And also, this would probably take me like a month to solve. I'm not even kidding. And like I was saying before, I'm sorry that this video was more low-key. I would like to do an actual proper video at some point to properly launch this channel off. I really hope you like the puzzle and I hope you stick around for future videos. Okay, wait, before you go, I am legally and contractually obligated to tell you that tomorrow's puzzle advent calendar video will be posted by Lord of the Cubes. So, you know, look out for that video tomorrow. Okay, with that being said, that about does it for this video. Stay hydrated, everybody.